Good morning. This is Wende Henley with Chamber Vibes Podcast coming at you this morning. We are still focusing on Women's History Month, and this has just been such a wonderful month in March to really focus on the true leaders of our community and focus on women who, we need that. I think we need the pumped up the volume and have the cheerleaders going, and because women are great leaders, let's face it. And we have a whole society out there and a big group worldwide who are world changers. And so we are focusing on those in our own community for this month. And today we have got Liz Brown here. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And she is such a born leader. She was raised in Bedford County in Bedford, Virginia, and she began working at Rapid Printing in 2011. She's got a great story to tell, and we want to tell it all today because this is really something that is pivotal in our community, a wonderful small business that has made a difference for so many people and has just been a staple for the community. And so we are so glad to have you and really to be community driven, and you are a community builder yourself. So what a challenge you took on. We're going to talk about that. But I want to tell everybody a little bit about you. So you're born and raised here. So you're a native and you graduated from Holy Cross and you attended Longwood University. And you've worked at different places before Rapid Printing right here in Central Virginia. You worked at Virginia Dare. How fun was that?
Yeah, it was great.
That had to be great every summer for a while. And then Snowshoe Resort, all the fun places. Yeah. You just had a fun time growing up. And so, and you lived in Snowshoe, and then you lived in Florida. And where else?
Yes. So we lived in Destin, Florida for almost 10 years.
Okay.
Before moving back here.
I bet you miss the warmth, but there's nothing like a strong community.
That's right.
And being in the heart of it.
And it's beautiful here.
It so is. We have the Four Seasons. Yes. It's great. And so you're married to Roger.
Yes.
And fishing charter boat captain for years. And you have two sons, Lawson and Alex. And then, so you moved back to Bedford in 2010. So born and raised here, you came back. What brought you back to Bedford?
Basically when the oil spill happened.
For the fishing.
Yes. Yep. And it just, we had a 2-year-old, and so we decided that if we couldn't live there, that we needed to be around family, and so we moved back to Bedford.
So you moved back 2010. Talk to me about what transpired within that next year.
So I came back and having worked doing accounting in Florida, we basically moved back and looked for a couple of accounting jobs and found a job helping do taxes for the tax season. So we moved back in January and then worked a full tax season. And then when in May, my father passed away and tax season was over, and it just things kind of fell into place, and the employees of Rapid Printing were wondering what to do. And we kind of had a meeting, and they agreed to stay and help me learn the day-to-day and the basics of how to make copies and how to fax and that sort of thing. And so I agreed to help them do the accounting and the payroll, and we decided to give it a try. And 11 years later,
here you are.
Here we are. Yes.
And doing a fabulous job. And so your dad was pivotal in the community. Your grandfather started the business. And so we're talking 53 years of service.
Yes.
And you came back. And I'm so sorry, that your dad died. And like I say, pivotal in the community. And so, but you came back and they said, you're going to take on this challenge. I mean, what did you think first? What was like the first thought in your mind when they came to you?
I was hoping to keep the business open for 6 to 8 months. Just didn't want to run it in the ground immediately.
Sure. And then you thought somebody else is going to come in.
Right.
And just be the leader for this company. But yet, God had something else in mind. And so you took on the challenge. I love that. And what is your motto? Because we were talking about this before the show. It just fits.
Challenge accepted.
That's your motto. I love it. And, that's your life motto, challenge accepted. And you think about how many times in life that we as women, look at something and there's so many challenges, right? And on a daily basis and how we can overcome. But if we just say, you know what, challenge accepted, and then we become those stronger leaders and pivotal in our own community and to help others too, right? Because it's more about, what are we learning and how can we, help somebody else with our growth, right? So I know that you are a mentor to so many within your company and of course within your family. And so what is, something like a life vision or life focus for you? I guess we were talking about your children too ahead of time and who you mentor.
Basically, for me, trying to be a good role model for my children, be community focused, also working hard, helping to better my community and, and as best I can, with, I guess, being in Rotary, which is an international organization, trying to do my part as well.
Yes, you really do. You've made a difference. You were secretary for how many years? A lot of years.
Oh, treasurer, yes.
Treasurer, yeah, for a lot of years. That's a big job for a local chapter.
Yes.
And you have given so much, and really, we're all so grateful.
Thank you.
And so Rotary is better because of you and what you've done. And, being like a philanthropist, right? And you come from such a great family who has really built in community and focus, right? Your mom, Marcia.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And my parents were very active in the community. And I've kind of followed along with that. They taught me to have a very strong work ethic, be dependable, and then better your community. And be a good role model for others as well. So I try to do that every day. I wake up in the morning and try to be the best mother, which I guess if you ask my children, that's probably not every day.
Well, they're at that age, but
yes, yeah. But I can't. I also have to sleep at night.
That's right.
And so it's if I have been able to at least help somebody at some point, and I strive for that every day.
Well, and I want to say that you do, and you're part of our sphere of influence here in Bedford. We're so grateful to have you and to really be, like I say, that community leader. And you did really take on that challenge, and you didn't look back and you said, you know what, we're going to do this. And you had generations prior to you that really instilled all of those talents and, the importance of making a difference.
Absolutely.
And taking on the challenge. I love that. So challenge accepted. So let's talk about your business and what are the current challenges now as we're talking about challenges? So you've got 4 employees?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's 4 of us at Rapid Printing, and just mainly trying to keep the door open, lights on. No great aspirations. I want something that's attainable.
Sure.
But I don't. I certainly want to still continue providing service to my customers, who I absolutely love. And that's what's really important to me, is keeping the doors open, so people can, go somewhere when their printer's not working at the last minute or, needing to fax something, but also being there for the businesses who need things, for them to operate and them to make their living.
And it's so important for people to remember here in Bedford that, you are a staple in the community and you are dependable, you're accessible, and you're so lovely personality, and you give back to
Yes.
our community. And so there's no reason why people shouldn't come to you and give you their business, because, they know you've been here for a long time. You're not going anywhere. And we are blessed to have you here. And so people do business with people they like to do relationship with, right?
Absolutely.
So it's all about relationship building and making sure that that client feels, respected and heard, and they know that you're reliable. So that's the most important thing.
And supported.
And, you're also fast too, which we appreciate. And, that matters today. Customer service is not going away. We were talking about that in an earlier show, and how there's a lot going on with robots, and we don't want to go there yet, right? It's not like we may want to hire one robot that we can slap around. It's just, the wave of the future. But right now it's like, we want people, right? People are the heart of your business, and they really tell your story, and they have the same morals, values. You've got your company culture there that matters.
Yes.
And that's important to you, and I know to our community. So what do you offer there? What are your top sellers?
Probably envelopes. We do a lot of business envelopes, invitations and announcements. We do a lot of invoices and forms, carbonless forms, that sort of thing for small businesses. A lot of raffle tickets, believe it or not. People are doing lots of raffles, and some advertising materials, business cards, that sort of thing.
And so you've got stationery you can do, and, so many things. Invitations are important.
Correct.
And of course, paper all day long.
Yes.
And, you're doing monograms with logos, all the things. I know you've got so many products there now. So there's a lot that people can come in and visit. They can get gifts right from your store. Mm-hmm. You have so many products. So if people have not been in recently, they need to see what you've got, because it's really a great space with a lot to offer there. And so what do you think is going to be coming up next? Do you think what are you focusing, with your business? So you're focusing on your employees?
Yes. Trying to get product in, just supply and demand, stay up with it. It's definitely been a challenge these last couple of years, as it has for everyone. But it's, trying to keep my products in stock and keep them at a reasonable cost, because, people, they have to be able to afford everything. And when, they can save a few dollars, they're going to. And I feel like I'm most competitive with customer service. And I will help them figure out as best I can. And, again, building the relationships with my customers.
Yeah. And, that's so important. Like I say, that is not going away. And I think for smaller communities, especially, that is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And you're certainly achieving that continually. So you have a trip coming up.
I do.
It's coming up in the future. And I want to talk about that, because that's just so exciting. Tell me all about it. So, where are you going?
We're going to Hawaii.
And how did all this happen?
I want to thank the Catlins and also Avenel. We actually, they had a luau, and to raise money to help the Avenel house restore it. And there was a raffle. They raffled off a trip to Hawaii, and I won.
And you won. Yes. You're a winner. Well, we all knew that before this.
Thank you.
But now you've got the proof.
Yes.
Right? Trip to Hawaii. So, not many people have, accomplished this in their lifetime. So I'm so excited. I want to live vicariously through you on this trip, whenever that is. And just make sure that I know about it. I want to see pictures and all the things. But, and so you will have somebody running the shop while you're gone, I know.
Yes.
And we'll talk about your hours. And then somebody will be watching the puppy.
Yes. Yes, while we're gone.
At the store, probably, or at your house. And then, but your hours, so while you're gone, you are running the store, and somebody's running it for you, and your hours are Monday through Friday.
Yes, 8:30 to 5:30. And in May, we're going to be open Saturday. Well, from May on, open Saturdays from 9 to 3.
Great. Saturdays is wonderful. And then, of course, the farmer's market will be up and running,
Yes.
Saturdays as well.
Yep.
And so come in. I want to invite people to come to your store. Certainly order gifts, products, paper, you name it. You've got it there. And get some monogrammed things done while you're there.
And if anybody has questions about what we can print, just give us a call, because more often than not, if we can't do it, we can get it for you, or we can at least, kind of send you in a direction of where you can get your product.
Awesome. And you also do the election signs and
Yes.
other types of signs as well.
Yes.
So if people didn't know about that, they can get you
Correct.
for that as well. And then come see you when you get back, whenever. And then Saturdays from May on, from 9 to 3. And so we'll look forward to seeing you at your store coming up next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a great trip.
Thank you.